Welcome back to Be Bold. Now, this is the segment for the Diaspora, and we have Erica Ayisi in studio with us. Thank you very much for joining us, Erica.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and we just saw your story a bit about education, and how did you come about doing that story? Why did you think it was necessary?
I thought it was necessary because there's a voice of the young people in Ghana in terms of their education. I think sometimes the culture can lead people to believe that young people don't have a voice and that they are to be seen and not heard. And these are growing adults who have choices and opinions, and I think their voice in regard to education was a concern.
Yes. And what other findings did you find that you couldn't put in that story that you can also let us know about now?
Some of the personal challenges in terms of a major one was time management.
Okay.
And in how they would structure their time with they want to go to school and be educated, but they also want to have a social life. So really effective time management and trying to balance both sides of being a university student.
Yeah. And in terms of other things that they talked about with regards to, let's say, financial means and getting resources to learn, how do you think that we can help as a nation to ensure that people, at least in the tertiary levels, also get the necessary tools they need to learn further?
I think in terms of internships and corporate Ghana taking some sense of responsibility, especially with the economic downturn of the country and world. Interns are free. It's free help with students who are fresh from the textbooks, fresh from the dealing with professors, fresh in conversation with other students. They want to work, they want to learn, and companies can benefit because they can work for free. So really a corporate responsibility in terms of offering internships to university students.
Now, through that, I can also see that you are down here working.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that? How did you get to Ghana?
I came to Ghana, I used to be a former educator. I taught secondary high school English in America for 6 years. And then I wanted a career change. I wanted to work in broadcasting. So I went back to school for my master's. And I was here last August, for an internship here with ETV Ghana, and they offered me a position, so I went back to the States, to New York City, finished my master's degree, and came back and moved about a month today, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, a month today.
Why Ghana?
Natively, this is where my parents are from. I'm a first-generation Ghanaian, meaning that both of my parents were born and raised in Ghana, and I was born and raised in the States.
Okay.
And I wanted global international experience. I wanted to go back to my roots. I could have taken my experience to somewhere else, but I could also bring it to Africa, so this is where I chose.
So if someone were to ask you, I'm asking you right now, where are you from? What would you say?
I am from, let's see. I'm from the States. I'm Boston, New York, but I'm a Ghanaian girl as well. I grew up in a Ghanaian home with Ghanaian parents, and so I guess I'm a global citizen.
Do you speak the language?
I'm learning.
You're learning.
Yeah, I'm building up my confidence, I think, is more of what it is.
Yeah. Now, can you, you were born here, but you lived in America most of your life?
No, I was born in America.
You were born there. Okay, so that means coming down here is a huge culture shock, right? Can you describe a bit of that to me as well?
Yeah, and I didn't expect so much of the culture shock because, like I said, I grew up with Ghanaian parents and peers, but it's different Ghana, America versus being in Ghana. So I guess the major culture shock would be the role of women, especially the role of women in their 20s. It's in America, after you finish university, you're independent, and your parents almost push you to move out and get your own place. Whereas Ghana, there's not that so much. It's after university, you stay home. You don't leave home until until you're married. So that aspect in terms of the role of a woman, I had an incident where I was here just about 2 weeks ago, and I went to a Dutch bar in my neighborhood to have a glass of wine after work. And I went to the bar, and they said, "Are you alone?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Okay, I'll be right back." And he came back and said, "Oh, excuse me, ma'am, you have to leave. We don't serve single women." And I was like, "But I live down the street. I just walked here." He said, "No, we don't serve single women." And I went home, and I was very upset, and I spoke to my cousin, and I spoke to my brother, who used to live in Ghana. And he said, "Well, women in Ghana don't go out for a drink alone. They thought you were a prostitute."
Yeah, that could have been the case.
So that I was completely taken aback from that. Like, why would they think that I have my own money. I just want to drink. So cultural in terms of the role of of a woman in Ghana, I think.
Yeah.
It's the biggest thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then what about the working environment? Is that similar to how it is for you back in the States?
No, it's very lax. I find it to be very, very lax, very laid back, and really what you choose to do for the day is what the outcome will be. So, where in America, it's more of a strict agenda. You're concerned of, oh, I have lunch at this time, I have to be back at this time. And it's a little bit more relaxed in that regard.
Yeah. Now in the States, you had a job, you were working, you were teaching. How did you just up and leave all of that and come down to Ghana and take this huge pay cut? Describe it to me.
Well, I was teaching, and I was actually working on a master's in education that I was paying for, and it came to the point where I worked in an urban setting in Massachusetts, and I felt that I'd seen the best and worst of education. I had, students, I'd sent students off to, Harvard University. I had students shot and killed. I had, students that were teen mothers, and I saw both spectrums of it, and I knew that the next step would be principal, and I didn't want that. I didn't want to be administrator. I didn't want to manage teachers. So I was getting kind of stagnant and bored in terms of education. So, and my bachelor's was in broadcasting, so I never used it. I never used it, and I felt, how could I inspire kids to go to college and gain careers when I kind of never really followed my own. So I quit everything. I had my apartment, I quit and took out a big loan for grad school and moved to New York. And
you're bold.
Yeah, I'm bold.
You really are bold.
And I'm broke.
Bold and broke. Yeah. What a combination.
But I have a good job.
Yes, yes. Now, also, a lot of people are in your shoes who are Ghanaians who moved, who either were born in the States or other parts of the world, or moved from here at a very young age. What do you have to say to them in regards to what they should expect when they move back to Ghana?
They should expect really nothing. Come with no expectations. If you set your expectations too high, you may be disappointed. If you set them too low, you don't want to shortchange yourself either. So come completely open-minded, and let yourself know off the bat, you're coming to Africa. You're not coming to America. You're not going to the U.S., the UK. You're going to Africa. Yeah. So
do you regret your move here?
Absolutely not.
Yeah? And are you staying, or are you going to be leaving soon?
I plan to stay for a little while.
Oh, yay! All right, well, thank you, Erica, for being on here with us. You've heard it from Erica Ayisi, who was born in the States, but she's made that bold move and moved back to Ghana to work here and, get life started. So, well, let's take a break. We'll be back shortly.